like to say first something to my Friday presentation. We started late and had a lot of material to cover. I walked out of here and realized I didn't do something that I promised to do, which was an important part of the presentation, and that's to show the parallels between drawings, paintings of people who are working on really big work and political posters and characters. It would take about 10 minutes. So I will, this topic doesn't take that much time, so I will use about 10 minutes today and complete it. So I'm sorry for that, it's too much essay. Okay, what I would like to do this morning is to discuss implications of the work with what I call holotropic states, which is not just psychedelic states, but things that happen in shamanic rituals, native rituals, near-death experiences, spiritual emergencies, experiential psychotherapy, and so on. The implications of this work for the conceptual framework that is being used in psychology and psychiatry. I came into this work equipped with my medical studies, psychiatry, and Freudian psychoanalysis, and very quickly did I realize that my previous education was not of much use in this work, and that we are encountering very serious paradigm challenges. And so I started publishing books on what I believe were the implications for different areas in psychology. The model of the psyche that we have, how deep the roots of emotional psychosomatic problems are going, the way we see spirituality and religion, our strategy of psychotherapy, and so on. Even the understanding of the relationship between the brain and consciousness. And many of these books were published by State University New York Press. And as I was approaching my 70th birthday, I was thinking about stepping out of our training and felt that we needed a manual somehow for the new generation of trainers. Synchronistically, I got a call from my editor from SUNY Press, and she said, we've published a number of your books on different aspects of your work. Would you consider writing one book that would sort of bring it all together and would be like an introduction to all your other books? And would you specifically focus on the challenges, on the aspects of these experiences and observations that current psychiatry and psychology cannot explain? And would you also suggest the changes that would have to be made in psychology and psychiatry to accommodate these new observations? So I was very excited because basically this was an offer to publish a manual for our trainings with the different things that we're teaching in our training. And so I wrote a book and gave it a deliberately provocative title. This is the psychology of the future. If you write a book like The Holotropic Mind, it's a very tame kind of a title. But at the same time, it really reflects my belief that if we study carefully the holotropic experiences and the things happening around them, like these amazing synchronicities, for example, that it is a paradigm challenge comparable to what the Michelson-Morley experiment was in physics, that took physicists from Newtonian physics to theories of relativity and then to quantum physics, and really admired tremendously physicists, how little they needed for such a profound conceptual change, and the amount of material that we have, and that the academic circles are absolutely immune for this. So I believe that there are at least 3 levels of significance of this new psychology that I will be talking about. One is that simply pure science you know, that we would like to have psychology that reflects as correctly as possible what is happening in the psyche and what the psyche is about. The second one is that if we work with holotropic states of any variety, we cannot do it with the current conceptual framework. We cannot effectively use psychedelic substances and try to approach it with behaviorism or with Freudian analysis. So we need a really useful, comprehensive conceptual framework for this work. And the third reason that I see for this is that as long as we will have psychology, psychiatry that we have, psychedelics would be seen as something that's completely alien, that sort of, you know, creates experiences for which the current conceptual framework doesn't have any place. They don't know how to relate to the experiences in psychedelics other than seeing them as pathology, you know, that this is as a toxic psychosis of some kind, of all these contents that current paradigm cannot explain.